Do you ever get overwhelmed by so many choices that you simply freeze and feel totally stuck because you just don't know what to do next? This is a big one for me. And I want to share today the concept of constraint and how this can help simplify things in your life with it kind of eliminating some of the mental strain. It's not about discipline. It's not about willpower. It's about removing unnecessary decisions so that you can do the things that with deliberation and intention. So let's talk about what that might mean. So what is constraint? It's the concept of deliberately limiting your choices in order to increase your focus. So we do this ahead of time so that in the moment, we're able just to carry on with the energy that we have at that time, and we're not spending it negotiating decisions. So for me, for a YouTube channel, I tried to come up with as many kind of these constraints as I could before I started. So one of the ones I shared in one of my other videos about self-coaching, getting started on, getting over the fear of starting your YouTube channel, and you can find that here if I figured out how to do that, was I just made some decisions ahead of time. I'm going to record with my phone. I'm going to use this piece of equipment. I'm going to take this course from this person, and I've taken a really good course on this. I'll share that in the video. But just minimizing the amount of options has meant that I'm doing the thing that's most important to running your YouTube channel, which is coming up with content and recording videos. And so again, these are going to, allow you to keep moving on the progress because making those choices at the moment can slow you down. So let me share some other self-coaching tips with you today to kind of help you find some ways to provide constraint in your own life. Self-coaching tip number one is to pick your focus. Now, for example, for your YouTube channel, you would want to decide on a niche. And that would mean who's my audience, where's my expertise, and where's the vortex of what that means. And for me, there was different ways I could have gone with this, but I wanted to talk about the way the self-coaching has enriched my life and share that with others that might benefit from that. If I started talking about travel or cooking or working out or any of those things, not only would it mean that my video and YouTube wouldn't know, my videos would be kind of disjointed and YouTube wouldn't know what to do with me, but it also meant that my brain was kind of scattered and I wasn't really able to focus. But because I chose self-coaching and because it's something that I do, it means that it allows my brain to like be thinking about that even in the background, even when I'm not recording videos in real time, I'm thinking about it from that perspective. Or I'll come up with a new tool or I'll think of something, going about my day and I'll be like, oh yeah, I want to note that down. That's something I could make a video with. So by doing that focus, and for me, it was my year and it's 2025 now. I wanted to concentrate on a YouTube channel. And so I have other goals. It doesn't mean I've thrown everything out the window, but this is the one I spend my free time thinking about. When I do have leisure time or when I have to make a choice, a decisions about something, I'll choose the one that's going to benefit the focus that I have this year, which is this channel. So self-coaching tip number two is to set rules in your life to simplify. Now, if the word rule has my little skeptical friends out there, raising their eyebrows, I get it. But think of, again, a rule and constraint are tools. You're going to use them for the compelling reason and the why that you've chosen for your goal. And if you need a video on a compelling reason or why, I've got one here in this playlist. Be sure to check that out. But the rule is going to allow you to free up your mind in that point. So it would look like for me, like I've shared, when I make a video, I wear black. I wear black clothing so that I am not deciding every time what to do. It doesn't mean I can't change that later on, but this is what I'm doing right now. And again, the rule is not a way to like beat yourself up when you break it, but rather just something to kind of experiment with. I'm going to try this out, see if it works. And, again, you're not negotiating at the moment. You're like, oh, I've already told myself I'm going to eat what I wrote down for the day. So that's what I'll do. And it's just going to save you that mental anguish at the time. And so the third self-coaching tip to use constraint is to try subtracting something from your life. And what can that look like? Well, I think we all know what it feels like to be overcommitted, either with your social schedule, your work meetings, the amount of the amount of things that you've committed to can definitely not only kind of rob you of your focus, but can also mean that you're straying away from what your compelling reason is. And again, we've talked about compelling reason in some of our other videos, but when you're looking at your calendar or, what your choices are during the day and you find yourself not aligning with what your goal is, what your one focus is for this year, that's when you want to try subtracting. And I'll be honest, it can feel a little awkward to do that, especially if you've been the kind of person that might say yes to everything. Um, People might feel a little off-putting if you're not agreeing to do things with them. Today, I chose to record videos instead of doing a social thing with my family. It's because I chose the YouTube channel as my focus this year. I have my compelling reason, and it really would have been tight for me to try to do both. I knew that neither would go, if I had decided to do both, neither would have been, I would have been distracted at the family thing and I would have felt rushed with my videos. So, you sometimes have to subtract to hone in on that focus. Um, so So my challenge to you this week is to pick one of these self-coaching tips, either picking one focus, setting some rules to simplify, and maybe trying subtracting and try applying it to your life this week. And let me know how it goes in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, hopefully you'll subscribe and check out some of our other videos on self-coaching for skeptics. I hope to see you there. Bye.